pliers, you're going to have some struggles here. Okay? It doesn't mean you won't get one. Like I said, no right or wrong, only consequences. We're going to go over all the consequences of what I feel is the common problems amongst omoplatas. So bringing the foot over. What I propose is that you bring the calf over. Okay? Instead of bringing the foot, what I propose is that you bring the calf in front of the head. I want connection with the crook of my knee and the shoulder at entry point to omoplata if I can do it. Not always going to be an option in this guard, in Williams guard or clamp guard. It will be an option because you are on your side or at least have an angle. If Kyle's up here at an angle, I at least have an angle to reduce flexibility. I don't need to be flexible to bring my calf in front of his head if I have an angle which keeps the crook of the knee weighted on the shoulder. That's important part number one. Now, number two, when we lock a triangle, if I lock a tight triangle, which is very common in the omoplata, what I'm doing in this scenario is I am planting my foot on the mat. So now my tight triangle is limited, let's rotate this one, buddy, in pressure on the shoulder by the floor. My left foot is on the floor. I cannot put any more pressure on his shoulder than what the length of my legs allow. So if he feels no weight on his shoulder, Kyle, can you just sit up a little bit? And that's the first time he's felt weight on his shoulder. So now he's already started his ascension, and there's some momentum that can be gained by him to get his posture up and begin putting me up on my upper back, which is not preferable, to break him back down again. But I have him down, I want to keep him down. So what I propose is that we hit a semi-triangle, okay? So my legs go into a semi-triangle, which is really low on the Achilles. It's not a tight triangle, which then you can see it pulls the knee up when I lock a tight triangle. Now it's taking weight off the shoulder. I want to be down. I want to have a semi-triangle so that we've at least, even if my left foot is here, we've at least started creating pressure on the shoulder. Ideally, I want to put his head on the mat. That's ideal. I want I like to call it forward, downward pressure on his head and shoulder. I want to push him down to the floor. This comes with its own problems. When you put somebody's head on the floor, their legs get light. So if Kyle understands cartwheeling or jumping over my body, when I put him forward, he can step right over, jump right over, yeah. And now he's cartwheeled out to the cross side, okay? That doesn't seem to be the case when you're in a tight figure four because, hey, his head isn't heavy. He has to physically bring his head down to get his legs light to hit a triangle. So we're going to look at how we adjust when we do this forward downward pressure. I would much rather have his legs light than his head light. Okay? So we are putting the weight down. Now, and another problem or another common pitfall in my opinion is the race to sit up. Okay? The race to sit up is often done when people are here, they sit up at any cost. They feel like, or we in the community often feel like, you might feel like when you're in omoplata, well, I have to sit up to finish. This is very true. I need to sit up to finish an omoplata, and I need to get myself up into this position. But if I hurry, there is a time allotment, but I choose not to hurry or be in a rush. I want to get my body in position where I can sit up well, okay? And when I can sit up well is when my hips come back to where his hips are. If my hips are up by his shoulder, even if I've created down forward pressure, if my hips are up by his shoulder level, then you're going to struggle at the point where you get your back off the floor, and you're going to struggle right about there. Because you're going to use all core against a small, his arm is right here, his shoulder is what's going to be blocking me. And now I'm going to have to use my core to actually do a physical sit-up. Or if you see all the time, guys use the belt and they yank themselves up, which is fine if I have a belt. Don't have a belt right now. So I want to put myself into the best position possible to sit up, which is a slight shimmying of my back to get my hips in line with his and to get this shoulder out of the way. So you see my leg go flat now. It's flatter now. That lets me pendulum kick my leg, and you can see I sit up with basic ease and no physical exertion, or there's no stopping point. I'll be able to sit up quite comfortably, okay? If my hips are forward, remember, I'm gonna go like this. There's gonna be a slight struggle, okay? Not only is there gonna be a slight struggle, if I sit up too far forward, my hips too far forward, I'm on the back of my hip. If Kyle begins to sit up, it's easy for him to roll me back on the back, okay? If I sit up on the front of my hip, when he goes to stand or sit up, when he goes to bring his head up, it's almost impossible. Because I've weighted my body. I'm on what I think in yoga they call sit bones. The bottom of where the hip meets the femur, rather than the top of the hip where it meets the back. I'll be roly-poly if I'm on the top of the hips, and it'll be easy for him to sit up. So I'm proposing that we lock differently. We bring the calf in front of the head where we can. We drive him down with a semi-triangle rather than a very tight locked triangle. I bring the weight down and forward, okay? And then I move my body back to sit up. When we do these things, we're going to be in position where we have a very, very strong foundation to finish it, to get our gold standard grip, which is the head and arm. Okay, that's what I want. The other thing I see is hands, where my hands are placed while I'm laying down. So let's look at hand placement.